Today I'm riding the version 2 Santa Cruz Bullit. I don't know much about this bike. I haven't really seen the docket, but what I do know is it's very similar to the Vala, 600 watt-hour battery, and the Bosch CX Gen 5 motor. Really stoked to put some time in on this bike. As you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, I have the V1 Bullit. Been vibing with that bike, aside from a minor mishap, which we're remediating right now. So anyways, out here today, gonna give my first initial impressions on this bike. Really excited to ride the new Gen 5 Bosch, just because it's super sick. It should be a bit more efficient, hopefully give me more range, shooting for like 5 to 6K. This is just gonna be an initial impressions video about how this bike rides, what I think, and how it compares to the version 1 Bullit. Let's get it. Storm's rolling in. Oh yeah, so quiet. I might have the suspension a little soft for this trail. Oh gosh, so quiet. This bike's brand new, still bedding the brakes in. So quiet. Oh gosh, off camera almost got me. Nice. Woo! Huh. This bike is so light compared to my Bullit. Whew. It's like 3 pounds lighter. Feels way flickable. Braking traction also feels a little bit better. Oh, Eric, getting loose. That was sick. Gosh, this motor is so quiet compared to the Shimano EP8, EP801. Not a single rattle on this thing whatsoever. Super sick. I think I'm probably a little on the soft side for the suspension. I went 200 in the rear, 95 up front. Looks like I used all the rear, but to be expected because those G-outs are kind of crucial on curl. All right, up to the top, Hank and Frank, and get some more laps. Did it rain last night?
Yeah. A little bit.
Oh, that's slimy. Yeah, dude. Thought you were gonna lose it. Oh. It gets so slimy so fast in here. It's just so hard packed. So up here, stay left. You'll see there's like a split. It's gonna make you think go right, but go left. And then there's like a good root bundle. You jump over. Right here. Yep. Ha! Yeah. So fun because it's like almost a little bit sketchy. You're on. So sick. I love that jump. Yeah, buddy. You made me nervous because I saw you sliding and I was like, you know how to ride these trails way better than I do.
I mean, I rode it.
Hell yeah.
I didn't realize it had gotten that moist.
It was slick. I think moving from the Shimano motor over to the Bosch was a good call for Santa Cruz. I know a lot of people are kind of griping about the 600 watt-hour battery, the fact that there's no battery options, considering Bosch does allow you to run a 600, 800, or 400 on some other bikes. I do think that's probably going to be a little bit of an issue with range. Today I'm in the EMTB mode and I'm at 40%, somewhere between like 3 and 4K of climbing so far. So will I ride and tour more? Yeah, probably, and I'll do a range test here soon, but when you get into some of these punchy, steep fire road climbs, it's just more comfortable being in EMTB. I have not gone into race mode today, and I probably won't use race very often. The one thing I do like, though, is it seems like the Bosch is far more supportive at a lower cadence, so I'm not shifting nearly as much. With the EP8, I was just constantly because you got to be, have a cadence of like 80 to 100, so you're gonna be shifting less with this thing. It's a bit more supportive, so I think it'll wear drivetrains less fast, which is good. Certainly quieter. I think it's the future. You can see why a lot of companies are moving away from Shimano into Bosch, and I know a lot of people were upset that Santa Cruz went away from the VPP to the 4-bar, but I think it's a nice little package. I think this bike still very much feels like a Santa Cruz, but it's got better braking traction for sure. I feel like oftentimes with the Gen 1 Bullet, you're just kind of skipping across the top, whereas with this, it digs in, and you pair that with the Maven brakes, and you can brake later, you can brake harder. It really just supports that kind of e-bike riding style. So it's kind of just my initial thoughts. Overall, I think I got some work to do on the suspension setup. This bike has the Grip X2 up front, which I've spent a little bit of time on, but I think I need to go up in pressure. As far as dials and rebound and stuff goes, I think I've got it pretty close. And then same thing with the rear. I'm like 190 pounds, 82, 83 kigs. I'm running 95 in the front and 200 in the rear. So play with the suspension over the next couple days, hopefully get it dialed in. This is just going to be an initial impressions video on the Santa Cruz Bullit. This is the GX Axis build. It's got the HD alloy wheels, double down tires, which is nice. Maven silvers, I think, or maybe these are bronzes. They all feel the same. It's got a 240 dropper on the size XL, which I think is super cool. See a big fat dropper tucked in, and there's no issues with fitment. You can slam this thing all the way down, whereas on the Bullit, because of the shock tunnel, 210 was kind of the max, even on my size XL. So it's nice to see that there's also more compatibility with dropper posts. It's got GX axis transmission, which, if you know about that, pretty solid. I know they've had some issues with water egress, but I think they've got that figured out. Santa Cruz house grips, SDG saddle, 1-up cockpit, and I'm running 1-up pedals. So overall, I think this is a nice spec for the price. Yeah, it's a little expensive. So it's like right around 10K, but I think for what you get, you're not gonna change much. It's a pretty sorted package right out the gate. Oh, well done, Santa Cruz. Good job on this one. I got range anxiety, man. Shimano ruined me. Dropping it. Trail 3. Oh, Eric's going into the wet grass like a savage. Slick. Nope, we're good. Whoa! So composed. So quiet. So I'm out here today riding with Eric. I just let him jump on this thing and tell me what he thinks, and he felt the same exact way. So when you're in a super chattery section, bumps, and you're on the brakes hard because you're gonna hit a corner, it's gotta be the anti-rise, the way that Santa Cruz designed this bike. It just digs in deep. So you can brake later, you can brake harder, and it just feels like the contact patch of your wheel on the ground just digs in, and you can slot right in, which is super sweet, because he was telling me the way he feels on his Mondraker, and it's kind of the way that I feel on my V1 Bullit, is just like you're kind of just skipping across the top, which feels drifty, it feels loose, feels super sick, but not necessarily composed, and you're not slowing down as rapidly, decelerating as rapidly as you want to. So I think that's another reason why they went away from the VPP, is like packaging the VPP, dealing with the shock tunnel. It's so much easier when you run a 4-bar. You can drop a big old dropper post in. You've got better anti-rise values. I think maybe the anti-squat is a little bit lower, but on an e-bike, that's not as important because you've got the assistance of the motor. You're just cruising. You're not like standing up on the pedals. You don't really need to mitigate that bob. A little bit of bob's okay. So I think optimizing the anti-rise like they've done on the Vala as well as the Bullit was really a good call. Braking traction, no doubt, is better. Bosch motor, better. 600 watt-hour battery, jury's still out. I'm at 30% right now. I've done 3,900 feet, where if I was in trail on the Bullit, V1 Bullit, it would probably be the same with the Shimano 630. So the Bosch being more efficient, the Bosch having a slightly smaller battery, but I think a more usable range. So we're gonna see. I'm probably gonna do as many laps as I can until I kill this thing today. I did the first climb in Tour, but Eric was taking off on me. He always rides an EMTB, so I've mostly been in EMTB today. And I think if you can settle in between 4,500 and 5K on EMTB, it's a pretty good range. I think most people will be happy with that. And they do offer the range extenders, which, you know, jury's still out on that. I don't know if I love the idea of that, carrying extra weight on my bike, but if you want to do big days, you're either dumbing down the assistance or running an extender. All right, a few more trails. Let's get it. Not bad. 10% left. I've done 5,000 feet. I'd never be able to do that on the V1 Bullit unless I was like all the way in eco. Today, EMTB mostly, and then I did one climb in tour, and I still got 10%. On the last climb I had 19%, so I could probably do another lap. I might try and go on tour and see, but yeah, that's crazy. The range is actually pretty good considering 30 watt-hours less. Bosch Gen 5 is just more efficient. Yeah, charging.